Hey guys, welcome again to the Maths Club. We are continuing our topic, sequence and series, which we introduced in the previous video to this. And now we are dealing with arithmetic progression. So what is arithmetic progression? Arithmetic progression is a sequence where each term increases by a constant amount. In the previous video, we talked about sequence. Sequence is where there is a kind of order. You can see some order, right? Maybe in the list of numbers, on the list of things. We're talking about Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. There's an order. So we are saying AP is a sequence where each term increases by a constant amount. So the next term is gotten by the addition of a common difference to the previous one. So the next one is maybe I'm adding 2 to the previous one. I'll add 2 to the previous one, and as I'll keep on getting the next values in the progression. An example is 3, 7, 11, 15, and 19. You agree with me that the first time I have 3, I add 4 to it gives me 7. I add 4 to it gives me 11. I add 4 to it gives me 15. I add 4 to it gives me 19. You can see that there is an addition of a constant amount. Right? When you see something like this, you know you're dealing with an arithmetic progression. And of course, the constant amount I'm adding is the common difference. So the common difference is this guy that we are adding, which is 4. Now, if you want to find the nth term of an AP, nth term means if I already know that, oh, my AP is increasing by maybe by 2, so maybe starting from 2, add to 4, add to 6, add to 7, I want to find the 90th value, right? You don't expect me to start doing 2, 4, 6, it's up to 90. No, that won't work. There is a formula for all these things. So the nth term of an arithmetic progression is the formula that calculates the value of the term at a specific position in the sequence, given the position, which will be known as n, and the first term, which is the first value in the progression. So if I given this, we'll be able to find the formula for the nth term of an AP. A common thing that we need to know is that the first term in the AP is known as A, right? N represents the nth term, right? The n could be anything, maybe the first term, second term, 99th term, and all of that. And the common difference is denoted as D. So what is our formula? Our formula is, if I want to find the nth term of T, I would say A plus n minus 1D. And how do we know it? We can actually prove it. Let's say we have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, right? On and on and on like that. What we know is that the A is the first value, which is 1. The D is difference, right? The common difference. To find the common difference, you can just say T2 minus T1 or T3 minus T or T3 minus T2. T3 means third term, right? So we can just say the second term, which is T2 second term, minus the first term, which is T1, right? So that is 3 minus 1. That will give us 2. That means the difference is 2. Now let's see the progression of what we have. The T1, which is the first term, right, is our A, right? And that is the value 1. The T2 is saying T1 plus the D, right? We said is adding the difference to the previous value, and that is saying A plus D, which is the same thing as saying 1 plus 2, right? So the T3 is saying T2 plus D, right? The previous value plus D, and that is T2 is A plus D, which is the same thing as saying A plus 2D, right? Which is like saying 1 plus 2 times 2, right? Great. So T4 is what? T3 plus D. T3 already is A plus 2D. So plus D again, this will give me A plus 3D, right? So same thing as saying 1 plus 3 times 2. Great. And the last value is T5. What do we notice? T5 is like saying T4 plus D, the previous value plus D. The previous value is A plus 3D plus this D, so this is A plus 4D. So if I do this, will be 1 plus 4 times 2, right? What do we notice about this? When we started with the second value, let's start from second value, right? The second value was A plus how many D's? 1D. The third value was A plus 2D's. The fourth value was A plus 3D's. Fifth value was A plus 4D. Can you see a pattern here? What is the pattern? So to find the nth value, that is just saying A plus n minus 1D. And look at it, the T1, when we went to T1 a, that will be a plus 1 minus 1 is 0, so 0 times d is 0. That's why you only see a there. 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 times d is d. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 times d is 2d. So this is the proof for this Tn is equal to a plus n minus 1d. I hope it's clear how we actually arrived at this particular thing. Let's solve some examples. So the first question says that given the arithmetic progression 9, 12, 15, 18, find its 8th, 99, and nth term. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to write our formula. We know our formula as Tn is equal to a plus n minus 1d. So what is given from the question? The given. The first term is a. Our a is what? Is 9. Our d is, we can find the d, which is just like saying t2 minus t1. Second term minus the first term. Second term is 12. First term is 9. So 12 minus 9 is 3. So that means our d is 3. Great. Now that we know this, we can be able to now find our question. We have a, we have d. N is dependent on what we're actually solving. So for the first part, it says we should find the 8th term, which is t8. So if I were to find this, I'll just substitute my formula. Anywhere I see n, I'll put 8. Anywhere I see a, I'll put 9. Anywhere I see d, I'll put 3. So let's go. This is 9 plus 8 minus 1 multiplied by d, which is 3, right? So this is 9 plus 8 minus 1 is 7. So 7 times 3, right? And then this is 9 plus 7 times 3 is 21. So our T8 is 30. Great. Next thing is to find our 99th term. So number 2, our T99 is, our formula is still a plus n minus 1d. And then our a is still 9. So this is 9 plus n minus 1. This is 99 minus 1 multiplied by 3. So this is 9 plus 9 minus 1 is 98, then times 3. 9 plus 98 times 3, you can take a calculator to solve this. So this is 4. 9 times 3 is 27 plus 2. This is 294. So 294 plus 9, that will give you 303. So that means our T99 is 303. Great. And then the last one is saying that we should find the nth term. I know that we already have this nth term, but you can see it's in terms of a and d. We want to make it in terms of the correct values of a and d in this particular question. So our Tn here is, our a is 9, our n is still n, so n minus 1, then our d on substitution is 3. So let's expand it. This will be 9 plus n times 3 is 3n, minus 1 times 3 is minus 3. So 9 minus 3 is 6. So 6 plus 3n. So that means our Tn is 6 plus 3n. Let's see if we're correct. Our T8 is 30, T99 is 303, and then our Tn is 6 plus 3n. Great. The next question is saying, if the 11th term of an AP is 42, and its first term is 2, we should find the common difference. So whenever you see questions like this, don't be carried away. First thing you need to know is what is given in the question. We're told that the 11th term is 42, so T11 is 42, right? First term, which is a, our a is what? 2, and instead we should find the d, which is the common difference. So we can put a question mark on the d. Question mark, right? If I were to write this T11, how will I write it? I will say T11 is equals to a plus 11 minus 1 times d. This is the formula. So T11 is equal to a plus 10d. Now let's substitute. We know that T11 was given to us as what? As 42. So I'll put 42 here. Our a in this question is given to us as what? 2 plus 10. Our d is still d, which is what we're looking for. Let's collect like terms. 42 minus 2 is equal to 10d, right? So 42 minus 2 is 40. So this is equal to 10d. And to make the d stand alone, right, this is like saying 10 times d. So if I want to make the d stand alone, I can divide both sides by 10, right? If I were to solve this question in terms of y equals, for example, I would say dividing both sides by 10. I'll write it down. So 10 will cancel 10. 10 here 1, 10 here 4. So what we have here is 4 is equal to d. Or we can say d is equal to 4. So this means in our question, the d is equal to 4. Great, so our d is equal to 4. The next question says that find the fourth term of an AP whose first term is 2 and common difference is 0.5. So what is given in this question? Right, we're told to find the fourth term. So T4 is not given, so I can put a question mark there. The first term is a is what? 2, and the d is 0.5, right? So let's solve it together. Our formula for Tn is a plus n minus 1 d, right? So let's substitute. One key thing is that when you're solving this type of question, always write your formula first. In WAEC, they have marks for correct formulas. So if you just solve that particular formula, you've lost a mark. They don't just mark, they mark for this given, they mark for this formula. So same thing too, when we put let's substitute now. So our T4 will now be a plus 4 minus 1 d, right? So our T4 would just be, let's substitute a is 2 plus 4 minus 1 is 3 times d, that is 0.5, right? So this is 2 plus 0.5 times 3. If you do that on your calculator, that would be 1.5. So that means our T4 is 2 plus 1.5 is 3.5. So that means the fourth term is actually 3.5. Let's see if we are correct. Great. The next question says that the first term of an AP is equal to twice the common difference d. Find in terms of d the fifth term of the AP. So when you see questions like this, don't be afraid. Let's break it down. So what is given? The first term, a, is equal to twice the common difference. So that means a is equal to 2d, right? Great. That said, find in terms of d the fifth term. So they want us to find the T5. I'll put this in question mark. So this is not given. So we know that T5, or first in the formula, so Tn is equal to a plus n minus 1 d. So our T5 will just be, let's substitute, our a is what? 2d plus our n is what? 5. So this 5 minus 1 multiplied by d. We don't know what d is. And instead we should find the fifth term in terms of d. So our T5 is just 2d plus 5 minus 1, which is 4, and then 4d. So our T5 is 2d plus 4d is 6d. Right? So they said find in terms of d the fifth term. So the fifth term is what? 6d. Great. So the next question is saying that find the number of terms in an AP given that its first and last terms are 13 and minus 23 respectively, and that its common difference is minus 2 raised to the power of 1 over 4. So there is something that we need to mention here. The last term of an AP is actually Tn, right? Because if there are n terms in an AP, right, that means the last of them will be Tn, right? So whenever you're given a question and say the last term, note that the last term is Tn. Great. So in this question, what is given? We're given the first term, which is T1, or which is a T1 or a anyone. I think I prefer a. A is 13, and the last term, this is Tn, is equal to minus 23. And we're told that the common difference d is minus 2 raised to the power of 1 over 4. If you remember what we did when we're talking about fractions and decimals, we can convert this to an improper fraction. That will be 4 times 2, which is 8 plus 1, which is 9. So that will be minus 9 over 4, right? So we're trying to find what are we trying to find? We're trying to find n. So this is n. So n is in question mark. Right. So let's go. So our equation is Tn is equal to a plus n minus 1 d. Right. So the Tn in this place is minus 23. The a is 13 plus our n is still n minus 1. Then our d is minus 9 over 4. Right. So let's carry over this minus, or let's first simplify this one first. So this is minus 23 is equal to 13 plus minus 9 over 4 times 9. That is minus 9n over 4. Minus 1 times minus 9 over 4. That will be plus 9 over 4, because minus times minus is plus. Right. So let's take all the whole numbers to the other side. This is minus 23 minus 13 minus 9 over 4 is equal to minus 9n over 4. Right? So minus 23 minus 13, you are in somebody 23 naira, you come again to owe the person 13 naira. So that is like saying you're owing the person minus 36 naira. So minus 36 minus 9 over 4 is equal to minus 9n over 4. So now let's do the subtraction of this whole number and this fraction. So the LCM here is 4. Minus 36 is the same minus 36 over 1, right? So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 4 times 36. If you press your calculator and do 36 times 4, you have the value to be minus 144. Right? 4 divided by 4 is 1. 1 times minus 9 is minus 9. So this is minus 9n over 4. Right? So minus 144 minus 9. If you do that on your calculator, or if you do it manually, this will give you minus 153 divided by 4 is equal to minus 9n over 4. Right? So there are other ways we can do this, but the least thing that we can do is to cross multiply. Right? So if I cross multiply, that will be minus 153 times 4 is equal to minus 9n times 4. Right? So I can divide both sides. Let me see. So maybe let's make it easy. So 143 times 4, if you do it on your calculator, that will give you minus 612 is equal to minus 9 times 4, that is minus 36n. So to make n stand alone, I can divide both sides by minus 36. Right? So if I were solving this question in for WAEC, I would say dividing both sides by minus 36. This guy will go, this guy will go. So 612 divided by 36. This will go, this will go. This is 1, this is what? 17. So therefore my n is equal to 17. 17. Great. Now the next question is saying that two terms have the same first and last terms. The first AP has 21 terms, the common difference of 9. How many terms has the other AP if its common difference is 4? So you can say one thing, that once you read all this question together, you will get confused. First things first is break it. So we have two AP. So let's say this is AP1 and this is AP2, right? They have the same first and last terms. That means this is A and this same guy too has A. The last term, this is TN, the same TN, this guy too has same TN. The first AP has 21 terms, right? So this N is 21, right? And the common difference D is 9. Right? It now says how many terms has the other AP. So we're trying to find n for this other guy. If its common difference D is equal to 4, right? So what do we know from here? They told us that Tn, they have the same Tn, but they gave us that the n is equal to 21. So we know that Tn is equal to A plus n minus 1D. So our Tn is equal to A plus, our n here is 21, so that is 21 minus 1 times our d here is 9, right? So Tn is A plus 21 times 21 minus 1 is 20 times d. So our Tn is A plus 20 times 9 is 180. So that means the Tn is A plus 180. You also agree with me that this same Tn here will also be A plus 180, because the question says that they both have the same value of Tn, and then they also have the same value of A. So this A will be the same, and this Tn definitely will also be the same. Great. Now I want to find n in this case. So that means that this question now, the Tn here is A plus 180. So given that information, I can also use my formula. So Tn is equal to A plus n minus 1d. We know Tn to be A plus 180, right, is equal to A plus, we don't know n, but we know this should be n minus 1 multiplied by d, right? And d is 4. So A plus 180 is equal to A plus n times 4 is 4n, minus 1 times 4 is minus 4, right? So let's take like terms. Let me put all the a's and the 4's to this side. So this will be A plus 180 minus A plus 4 is equal to 4n, right? So A minus A, right? You have 1 naira, by some 1 naira, that means you don't have anything again. 180 plus 4 is 184 is equal to 4n. So if I divide both sides by 4, I should have what my n is. So this cancels this. 4 here 1, 4 in 18 is 4 with a remainder of 2, 4 in 24 is 6. So that means the n of this other guy is actually 46. So there are 46 terms in the second guy. What did we do? We just did a table, AP1, AP2. We wrote the informations for both of them, right? And then I did the AP1 first because they gave me the n. So that way I was able to find the Tn. And since both of them share the same Tn and A, that means that this guy's Tn will also be the same thing as this A plus 180. And using our formula, I just substituted and did some mathematical operations and found the n to be equal to 46. Let's see if we're correct. Great. So our n is equal to 46. So the next question is saying that we should find the nth term of an AP 10, 13, 16. Pause the video and try it out yourself. Welcome back. Let's do it together. So in this particular question, our Tn is a plus n minus 1 multiplied by d. So what are we given? Our a to be 10, our d to be t2 minus t1. Always write the formula while you achieve anything. So this is 13 minus 10, which is what? 3. So our Tn here is a, which is 10 plus n minus 1 multiplied by our d here is 3, right? So let's expand. So our Tn is 10 plus n times 3, that will be plus 3n, minus 1 times 3, that is minus 3. So Tn is equal to 10 minus 3 is 7, right? So 7 plus 3n. So our Tn, which is the nth term, is 7 plus 3n. Let's see if we're correct. Great. So 3n plus 7 or 7 plus 3n is the same thing. So the last question, it says in an AP, the difference between the 8th term and the 4th term is 20. And the 8th term is 1.5 times the 4th term. What is the common difference and what is the first term of the sequence? Like I said, when you say questions like this, it looks very big and confusing. Break it down. So what is given? We're told that the difference between the 8th term and the 4th term is 20. That means T8 minus T4 is equal to 20. And another knows that T8 is 1.5 times the 4th term. 1.5 seems as saying 3 over 2. So 3 over 2 multiplied by the 4th term. Right? So it's not saying what is the common difference. So from this guy, I know that T8 is 3 over 2 T4. So if this is my equation 1 and this is my equation 2, so I can substitute equation 2 in equation 1. Right, what would that be? So this is T8, instead of writing T8 now, that would be 3 over 2 T4 minus T4 is equal to 20, right? So let's take LCM. LCM here will be 2. 2 in 2 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. So 3 T4 minus, this is like saying T4 divided by 1. 2 in 1 is 2. 2 times T4 is 2 T4 is equal to 20, right? So 3 T4 minus 2 T4 is T4 over 2 is equal to 20. So if I cross multiply, my T4 will just be equal to 20 times 2, and that is equal to 40. Is that what they said we should find? I don't think so, right? The question says that we should find the common difference. So based on this, how can we be able to now find the common difference? Right, so yeah, I know that my T4 is a plus 3d, right? Without doing any force, is a plus 3d. So that means a plus 3d is equal to 40, which is our T4. So I can make this my equation 3, right? So I know this. Now, based on this information, I can substitute T4 in this equation 2, right? And find T8, because T8 is 3 over 2 T4. So substituting T4 in equation 2, right? So T8 is 3 over 2 T4. So this is 3 over 2 multiplied by 40. 2 here 1, 2 here 20. 20 times 3 is 60. So that means our T8 is 60. How can I write T8? I can write T8 as a plus 7d is equal to 60. So this is my equation 4. So if I bring this equation 3 and 4 together, so joining equation 3 and, so let me write this. So equation 3 and equation 4, right? Equation 3 is a plus 3d is equal to 40. So a plus 3d is equal to 40, and equation 4 is a plus 7d is equal to 60. So this is equation 3, this equation 4, right? What we can do here is, I don't want to complicate things because we've not done simultaneous equation, but what we can do if we have something like this is we can say equation 4 minus equation 3. So this equation 4 is, at this left hand side, we have a plus 7d, right? Then it will minus what is at the left hand side of this bracket. That will be a plus 3d is equal to what's at the right hand side of equation 4, which is 60. We minus what's at the right hand side of equation 3, so 60 minus 40. So this is how we actually do simultaneous equation, because if we minus out, we'll be able to cancel out this a, right? So you can say equation 4 minus equation 3. If this does not make sense, when we actually touch on simultaneous equation, you can always come back to it and you see what we're doing. So a plus 7d, right? If I open this bracket, minus times a is minus a, minus times plus 3d is minus 3d, is equal to 60 minus 40 is 20. So a minus a, you have a and you take away a, that means you don't have anything again. 7d minus 3d is 4d. So this is equal to 20. If I divide both sides by 4, my d will be equal to what? So this will cancel this. 4 here 1, 4 here 5. So d will be equal to 5. So we have the answer of d, right? Can I use the answer of d to find a? Do I have an expression that gives me a? Yeah, so I have an expression. I could use this expression. So a plus 7d is equal to 60. So a plus 7d is equal to 60. Let's substitute. A plus 7 times d is 5 is equal to 60. Right, this was from equation 4. Equation 4 was the a plus 7d is equal to that I'm using, right? So this is a plus 7 times 5 is 35 is equal to 60. So a is equal to carrying like terms, that is 60 minus 35, right? So a is equal to, if you do this subtraction, a is equal to 25. This is a complex question, but if you're able to follow through, watch it as many times as you need to watch it till you get it. Great, our a is 25 and our d is 5. So we went from simple questions to complex questions in arithmetic progressions. One most important thing that we need to notice is that first write your formula, then write what it's given. That way you'll be able to step by step break down the question and get the solution that you actually need. So in the next video, we've looked at the sequence, right, which is just the list, right? We're looking at the series, which is us adding each of the values in the AP. See you in the next video.